Hello, happy Tuesday. Happy first Tuesday of the month, right? Happy payday, like so many things today. It's May. Okay, let me just say May is my favorite month. And it's not because it's my birthday month, maybe, but it is my favorite month. Like it's when, everything is fresh outside and blooming. And it's just, I don't know, it feels like it's the beginning of a new season. And I feel like here with us closing out April so freaking strong. By the way, give yourself a pat on the back. Y'all crushed April. You did amazing. I love it. It was like, the beginning all over again, seeing people just excited, passionate about their Thrive, making it about others. Yes, it was end of a bonus time, but people were not just making it about, I have to hit this bonus. People were about, I need to help others. I need to make it about others hitting their goals. And when you put others first, everything changes. Everything changes. So I cannot wait to hear from Meredith. But that's the whole thing, right? Like April, like it was the close of that bonus season, but we still have daily bonuses. We still have weekly bonuses. We have this amazing freaking customer acquisitions bonus, which don't look at that and go, I could never do that, because you're telling yourself wrong, by the way. Yes, you can. People are doing it and it is possible. You just have to get the mindset of, I need to share Thrive with others. I was having this conversation today, and I have this conversation a lot. And I think I've stopped saying this because I feel like I think everybody has heard me say the same thing over and over again. But because it's been so long, maybe y'all haven't heard me say this at this point. Um, I talk about when people are like, well, I don't want to post too much and I don't want to be spammy and I don't want to sell my friends and, all those things, right? My immediate thought, and I'm sorry if this hits and I'm sorry if this comes across rude, stop being selfish. People need this product in their body. People need how good you feel. If you wouldn't stop taking your Thrive, then why aren't you telling people about it? If you wake up every day and you take your Thrive because, ooh, I wouldn't go without my Thrive, because I wouldn't. If you wake up every day and you wouldn't go without your Thrive, why are you being so selfish that you aren't sharing it with people? I was sharing the analogy this morning. What if there was a famine? Okay. There was a famine and you all of a sudden, kind of like Jack and the Beanstalk, all of a sudden you had like a food mill in your backyard and you went out every day and it just produced food. There was food, manna from heaven, whatever you want to call it. All of a sudden, every morning there's food. Would you only gather the food and feed your family, or would you feed the neighbors' starving toddlers? Would you invite the community? Oh my gosh, here, have the food, eat. We all need to eat. That is the similarity of Thrive. We have something that is truly changing people's lives, and you're keeping it a secret. Stop keeping it a secret. Stop not telling people because you're in your own head. Start telling people because they deserve this in their body. Okay, there's your soapbox for Amber for the day. All right. Meredith, hi, hello, how are you? All right, go ahead and introduce yourself. Kind of just tell us, who is Meredith? When did you start Thriving? I think you actually have a restart story. Just kind of start, and then I'll jump in with questions in between.
Okay, perfect. So, hi guys, I am Meredith Whitehead. I have been, well, prior to Thrive, I was a full-time nanny, and you guys have been thriving now for 4.5 years. But I was a 28-year-old exhausted full-time nanny, and I watched Ashley Sy actually thrive for like a whole year before I even tried the product. I watched her just have this glow up. And the cool thing is her and I go back like 15 years. We know each other prior to Thrive. So then I kind of just I trusted her on this product after watching her. And I'll be honest, I was the biggest skeptic. I was one of those people that let my samples sit on the counter for 3 weeks. Yep. 3 weeks, I was like, nope, I can't live without my caffeine. I'm gonna need to like be drinking my coffee, my Red Bull, my Mountain Dew, all the things. And so I tried a sample finally in November of 2019 after my 1 year wedding anniversary because I needed to find something to help my gut health and my energy because otherwise my rest of my life I felt like it was crumbling around me. Um, and then I ordered as a customer day 2 of my sample in 2019, and then I decided to hit the promoter button in January after having that full month's experience of like, okay, yeah, this can literally change people's lives. So yeah, January of 2020 is really when I started to promote the business. Guys, I have not ever quit promoting Thrive. Thrive has literally changed my health inside and out. And it's changed my energy, just everything. And so yeah, I've been promoting ever since January of 2020. Now, my journey's a little slower. It took me like my friends and family, they have not supported me whatsoever on this because they're like, you came from a different company. Does it really work? When I left the company I was with prior, no one came with me, no one on my team. And then yeah, I haven't really had the support from family here either when it comes to like reaching out to those family and close friends. Like none of my close friends thrive. I've really worked my entire business on social media and built my business from social media. So it took me, Amber, it took me a full year actually to hit 4K. That's how slow my business was going. And then it wasn't until March of 2022, and I was just reminiscing about this. This is so crazy. So I had a lot of people kind of join me in 2021. And then it was 2022, I went 12K for the first time of March 2022. So it took me a whole year to go 12K. But what's crazy is life happened in February of 2022. We lost our first baby at 17 weeks. And I took a step back and I was like, I just need to like, deal with this, process this and everything. But it was my team that was like there for me, supporting me, helping me through it, like checking in with my customers while I was dealing with that. And I'll be honest, I quit taking Thrive for a couple days because I was like, nothing's going to pull me out of this dark hole. But then when I started taking it again, I was like, oh my goodness, like why did I ever stop? And it really kind of just saved me. And it was when I took that break for like, I don't know, I don't even think it was a full week, honestly. Um, I when I started back up again, I was like, why would I ever stop? These products literally are bringing me out of my darkest times, and the community here, I just couldn't get over like my team and the community that I had standing behind me. And then it was March 2022 that we went 12K for my very first time. But then and if I'm not covering something, like if you ask me something and I'm not covering it, it's because I'm nervous. I'm sorry. um, um, but then I want to be straight up honest with you guys. I do have a comeback story. So November of 2022, my entire team. I'm gonna get emotional. My entire team left me in November of 2022. I had to start totally fresh in December. Um, I was the only person that stood by like Ashley's side, Ashley's team, and I questioned myself. I was like, do I continue? Do I also leave? Like no one's here. Like how am I gonna rebuild? How am I gonna be changing these people's lives? Guys, my PPA was at like 1 or 2 a month. Like I knew I had to figure out something different. And I questioned myself in this journey because I did lose everybody. And so I rebuilt. I lost obviously 12K in November. I probably lost it probably in October because I feel like people started to quit working their business really in October of 2022. But I lost strength all the way down to I even lost 4K in December, January, and it wasn't till 2 or 3 weeks after having my daughter that I re-ranked 4K in February of 2023. But guys, I had to totally and completely rebuild my business, even though I questioned it and I didn't know if I could do it. And if I'm just really proud of myself for staying around, because now the momentum here is just absolutely insane. But here's the thing, I had to figure out how I was going to reach a different market. Like, I knew I had to make a change. Everybody left. What do I, my warm market's saturated. Everyone on my page has seen all the things about Thrive that I constantly share. And consistency is the biggest thing ever. All of our leaders, they share that, they say that. They are not joking. Make sure you stay consistent. Because it was me being consistent, and then I totally stepped into doing online events. So for me, that started in January of 2023. And that's really where I feel like my new market and my new growth has really, really kind of came in. Let's see, December of 2023 is actually when I got a new runner back on my team. So I have totally and completely rebuilt from ground up, restarted over, and it's really rewarding, I guess, in a sense.
I love it. Oh my gosh, by the way, you're doing amazing. Okay, so tell us, because everybody's like, but what did you do? What was your consistency? What was your daily, like, walk us through your daily. How did you get back to 12K? Because here's the deal, and I will tell people, I've seen people like, I'm back in, I'm ready. And they post for like a week. And then
Yeah,
they're
that does.
like, nobody's answering. Nobody wants to buy Thrive. I'm like, because you roll this a week. Like, you can't go to the gym for a week and see
It's
real results that stick
right,
with you. And
right,
in an industry like this, people need to see, one, especially if you haven't, I don't know if this is where you are or not, but I know that there are people that are coming back that they haven't posted about Thrive, right? I take my Thrive. I post about it once in a while. So you have to have consistency over time. If you're consistent for 90 days, you're going to see results then. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to take 90 days, but if you're consistent over a 90-day period and you set that in your mind of like, I need to be consistent for a minimum of 90 days, then you're not going to think you're a failure in 2 weeks when posting for 7 days doesn't work, So
right, right.
walk us through your IPAs, your daily. How did you, like, what does that
How
look
did
like?
I rebuild?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when my PPA was sitting at like 1 and 2 in December of 2023, and I had no one on my team, I knew I had to, like, obviously I kept sharing on my stories, and I kept doing my
Uh-oh. Did you mute? Okay.
of course how I build my network really is I go through my people's birthdays and wish them happy birthday. And then I only add genuine people to, like, if we can actually connect. That's the only way I add. I don't just press the invite button, blah, blah, blah. So I'll go to like people's birthdays, wish them happy birthday if they're still active within 1 to 2 weeks of them posting. If they're not active that way, then I actually delete them. And because I want somebody that's super active on social media. And then I kind of just go through their friends list and see if we can connect that way. So that I made sure every single day I minimally would add 5 people to my social, because I knew I needed to get out of my warm market. So constantly in my stories, sharing Thrive, me taking
Say
my
that
first step.
again. How many people did you add minimum per day?
5,
Okay.
just 5. Guys, you don't have to send 15, 20, 30, because you want to make sure that these people can really connect with you, that they can come to your page and really connect with you. You don't want them to be seeing the Thrive, 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 and that's all she does. Like, I make sure I add people who are like Christian based. Now, like, a lot of people I made sure, like, I'll see if they talk about infertility or infant loss or loss of any kind, or if they have a girl baby, if they garden. Those are kind of just all things we have in common, right? So I just really made sure I was making adding people to my network every single day. And then I minimally also would do 30 minutes a day in stories and 30 minutes a day on my timeline of interacting, because people, if you're not interacting and putting in the work, how are people going to know to come to your page and see what it is that you're doing? So you have to, if you don't see any growth, guys, you have to make sure that you're also putting in the work. I am full time now at home, doing the Thrive business. I retired and just hubby was like, I need you to come home. We need to focus on like your business and growing a family, right? So I've been able to really put an hour to 2 hours minimal into my business every single day, and I knew I needed to, like, do that to see the growth in 2023, 2024. Um, but sorry, I got sidetracked. So, yeah, stories, adding to your network, making sure you're interacting, connecting with your audience, connecting with your friends on social media. Make sure that you're sharing to people who are actually active. I actually went through my entire friends list. I had, like, 4,300 friends the beginning of 2023, and I dropped it down to like 3,400 because I went through A to Z on my friends and cleaned them out and just made sure I was, targeting a certain audience. But the other thing is I got into doing the online vendor fairs. So vendor events, vendor fairs, whatever you want to call it. I'm terrified to do it like in person. I don't know why. I used to do them in person with the last company I was with, but I was like, nope, you're about to, have a baby. You're not going to have time. So just do them online. So that is a way to really connect to a different network. Online vendor events is insane. The cool thing is that you're sharing with other moms or other women who have small businesses as well, at home business. I'm talking about Pampered Chef, Lemongrass, um, New Skin, Red Aspen, all those things. We all have something in common. We're all trying to stay home and create an impact for other people on things that they need. So yeah, December 2023, I did my very first vendor event, and that's how I've really, really grown. What's so crazy is a lot of leaders say do not do free giveaways. And I also would, before doing them, I would totally agree. I always sell my samples, and I do always sell my samples, except for when I do a giveaway. I do probably 50 vendor events a year, if that, online vendor events a year, if that kind of helps judge people. So I'm tapping into new market every single week, new people every single week. And now recently, a couple of my runners on my team started because she won a free sample of Thrive, and she felt a difference, and she shared it with her friends, and that's now how really I have these runners on my team. It's from a vendor event. But yeah, those are really the things. I'll be honest, I'm terrible at doing reels, so I know like reels were the thing, but that's not how I've grown my business. 100% is from online vendor events is how I've done it within the last year.
I love it. I love it. And I'll touch on vendor events. I have not done online events. Now I feel challenged to do that. So thank you. But when we started this, we were doing in-person vendor events. And I will say most of my customers or interests did start from the other vendors, because they're
Yeah.
like, I sell lotion and I sell party supplies or whatever, like, tell me about your vitamins, so, I mean,
Right.
I still wear the same lip gloss and she still thrives because we connected, at a vendor event. I tried her lip gloss, she tried my Thrive. Been a story for
Yep.
7 years. Okay,
Yep.
so what I would encourage people to do on this, if you heard her, she's at home. Okay. She is at home. So for those of you that maybe have a job or something else, I know how this works. And I know that your mind is like, well, I can't do 50 even. I can't keep it. Do what you can do when you can
Right.
do it. Right. So you're doing about one a week, right? Like if you
Yeah.
said about something, you're doing about one a week. If I would encourage y'all to make a list, figure out your time. The biggest thing is that I feel like people, what's that whole cut off your nose to spite your face? Like people like stop themselves before they even go because it's that whole, I don't have the time. I don't know where I can't do an hour a day. I don't know what it is. But if you just do it, and we talk about the nooks and crannies all the time, because I was at the salon, the boys were racing motocross. Jason was running his own business too. Like when I say we were busy, we were so freaking busy. But I would send messages or answer messages in between clients. I would listen to trainings with the little Bluetooth in my ear while I was shampooing people. Like, if a client was late, I was celebrating, like, because that meant I could send more messages. So just doing it when you can. And before you know it, 5 minutes at a time, you just put in an hour's worth of work. So
Right.
I know like a lot of people are like trying to find, I need to find the 30 minutes. I need to find the hour. No, you don't. Like you just need to start by sending the message and doing the thing, right? Okay, Meredith, what else? And Katie, if you think of questions to ask her, just chime on in.
Listen, look, okay. I'm always a student. Always a student. So
Same.
I don't have any questions, but I have a lot of things that I want to touch on whenever she's done.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes, I have
Awesome.
a couple more things to say.
Yes.
So also like to really get my PPA up. Obviously I was doing a lot of like product swaps in the vendor events, but I've really been focusing on customer referrals. So like really getting your customers, like if they're falling in love with a sample and their hubby even thinks like there's a difference in that lady, like in their wife and their whatever, or like in their friend, like get that hubby a sample, because I have so many husband and wives or boyfriend and girlfriend now thriving together because of just one of them seeing it. And I'm like, because I was saying my story the other day. I was like, you know what, guys? It's not just us ladies that want to feel, us moms that want to feel better. The guy may not really want to admit it that he needs help, but like I'm telling you, the guy needs Thrive too, right? We all have nutritional gaps that need to be filled. Like, just get them a sample. Because I would say, well, in the last year, because I do about one giveaway per vendor event when it comes to the 3-step, or if somebody orders like just the collagen gummies, I will send them out a sample of the 3-steps. And typically I'd say probably 75% of the people will then order the 3-steps plus then the collagen or whatever, like one product they ordered. So in a sense, like even though I will send out a free one, I'm like upselling them because I know that they could use the 3-steps. They hear about it in my vendor event. And so anyway, that's how I have like really upped my PV, because last month when I came back to 12K, guys, I hit 12K and I couldn't believe it. I remember actually telling Ashley, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna jump from this 4K. Well, in March, I think as a team, we did like 7,000. And I'm sitting here like, how in the world am I going to get to 12? How are we going to help so many people get to 12K? But I think I had like 8 brand new customers in April. I had my biggest volume in like personal sales in the last 4.5 years. I hit just under 3,100 in personal volume last month alone, and 8 of them were new. And I get messages from my customers all the time that they'll be like, my doctors are wondering what I'm doing. And I tell them, I'm like, I'm taking these vitamins, or my husband saw a difference in me. He wants to try a sample. And so, I get them a sample. and for me, like my daily outlook, so I practice gratitude in the morning before I get with my daughter in the morning. Hubby typically will wake up and get her just to start the morning because she is still waking up in the middle of the night. So I do just practice some gratitude. And I'll be totally honest, the last 2 years, I have totally prayed over my business. I've prayed every single day, who can I help today? Who can I help change their life financially today? And I've just overall, I just pray over my business, and that too has like made such a difference. So yeah, I think that's all I was gonna say. Just just look at it like, who can you help today? Because once I made that mindset shift of who is it that I can help, and stopped worrying about those circles, those trackers to hit all these different things, or to like I remember that first year is like, how can I make a paycheck? How can like when I got that shifted aside, and I really shifted my mindset to, okay, if I have to start my whole business over and I'm sticking with it, who is it that I can help? And now everyone on my team, I'm just like, okay, who can I help hit that next rank? Or who, like, how many people can we get your customers thriving for free? Like, anyway. So yeah. That's my
I
journey.
love it. Okay, so because this is, and I've never stopped doing or saying the same thing. And this is going back old school in the very beginning for me when Jason Camper was constant. He's like, I'm a broken record. He's like, be a broken record. Who are we getting on the phone today? Who are we helping today? Who are we reaching out to today? It wasn't, what post are we making today? Yes, posting is a part of it, but if you are not reaching out to the people, they don't feel invited. That's it, right? I think that's one of those things where we talk about like big companies, like Walmart or Coca-Cola or, anything like that. They have a billboard, right? You see the billboard, but they don't just have a billboard. Like Facebook is your billboard, but it's not your only avenue, and Instagram and all the things, those are your billboards or your magazines. But that personal invitation, when you truly need something, then you remember, "Oh, my friend Meredith sells vitamins. She asked me before if I wanted to try her vitamins." Like those are the things. Like the billboard plants the seed and puts you in their head. Cause like y'all, when 2020 happened, my phone blew up. My messenger blew up with, hey, Thrive's vitamins, right? I need your vitamins. And so like my customer sales increased a ton when all of a sudden other people were telling people they needed vitamins. And so it was like the validation came into play. And so I was still there. They still knew I had vitamins. Hey, wait, now I need your vitamins. But it's just so true. Okay, Meredith, I want you to stay because, well, one, because I want you to stay, but two, I want you to stay because I want to kind of hear from you after we move to Katie. And if you have anything else, back and forth. Plus, guys, if you have any questions for Meredith, drop it in the chat. We'll try to come back to that. Thank you so much. You did amazing. All right, Katie. Hello.
Hi.
Okay. A cat or a kid in there?
Okay, so I'm dog sitting.
Oh, dog.
My mom's on a cruise, so I was like, I'll watch your dog on the cruise if you watch my kids from my cruise. So it's compromised, right? So I have Amelia here. Okay, so there are so many things that I want to touch on. Meredith, you're amazing, first and foremost. Thank you for getting on. I literally have a whole page of notes. I'm always a student, and I think that's something great too, is even Amber. Well, Amber's my upline, and she'll reach out to me and she's like, what are you doing? Like, how did you do that? It's because I don't care if you're a brand promoter, 4K, 12K. I mean, I'll reach out to anybody, like, how'd you do that? Share. So I'm always learning from people.
And not to interrupt you, but it's that whole like success leaves clues. And so when you've been here a bit, if you're at a stall or at a standstill and there are people that are having success and they have PPA and they have people blowing up their messenger, tell me, spill the tea. What are you doing? Like you're never done. When you feel like you've arrived and I'm good, then you're done. Like,
Well, and that's the thing too, though, is like social media is constantly evolving. You know, when I first started, there was no live videos. I was recording a video on my phone and then uploading it. There was no stories, there was no reels, there was none of any of these things. And so as it comes out, it's all new. We're all experiencing it together at the same time. So if I see someone dominating in that space, I'm like, all right, teach me. I'd rather learn from you and figure out what's working for you than to spend months trying something that's not going to work, right? So I'm always willing to learn. But you had mentioned Meredith, and I just have notes based on what you said, and I want to touch off and piggyback off of a few things because I thought they were so good. So she said it took her a year to go 12K. And it reminds me of Sue, who's on here. So this is Sue's second go around with Lavelle. She walked away and she came back. But I remember her first time, we were on different teams, and I did interview her, and it took her, I think it was 3 or 4 years, to hit 40K. And so can you imagine over the last 12 months, Meredith, if you had given up, you know what I mean? When when someone stopped working or a customer stopped ordering, there are people that have been with me since the beginning, but there are people who have not. So just a few names. Ashley Adrian, she's on our team. Her team did $20,000 in sales last month. Y'all, I didn't enroll Ashley until my 3rd year here, right? Haley, 4 years in, I enrolled Haley. Haley's a 12K. 5 years in, I ended up enrolling Sue for her 2.0 run. And Sue's a 12K now. So those are 3 leaders in our organization that I didn't even bring into this business until well after 3 years of being here. And so keep the course, you guys. Just because you're 6 months in, 12 months in, that doesn't mean that you're not 6 months away from your rock star. Meredith, you might be 3 months away from that person now that propels you to 40K. You have no idea. So keep that in mind, you guys. You just never know. We pray for rock stars all the time. We're like, send me a rock star, send me a rock star. But I think we have to be our own rock star, right? I've always been told, and I've always believed, that your tribe or your team or your organization will only ever be half as strong as you are. I'm only half as consistent as Amber. Gosh, she's goals, okay? Amber's like on the Zooms, and she's, oh my gosh, don't even look at me like that. Amber is so consistent.
I feel like you're consistent with reach outs and all the things. Like,
and that's the truth, you guys. I had seen a comment that was, I don't remember who it was or what exactly it was. But they had said, my whole team walked away and I'm struggling. Be the leader that you want to enroll. Be the rock star that you want to enroll. Your team's going to follow suit. So if we are kicking our feet up and we're going, wow, no one wants this, or it's too expensive, or no one wants to join me, why would somebody invest their time, money, efforts, and trust into you when you're not even displaying that in your own self and in your own business, right? So show up and be the rock star that you want. That was a really, really huge one. That I wrote that down. So you had totally rebuilt. You mentioned that. Sorry, I have like a squirrel brain. That's why I have notes. She totally had rebuilt, and so I want you to answer me this, Meredith. The team that you just rebuilt to 12K with, were they the team that you went to 4K with?
No.
Okay.
No, my first 4K, when I went 4K that first year of being into the business. So it took me a year and 2 months to go 4K. And then technically it took me 2 years and 4 months to go 12K. So totally different teams.
Yes. Yeah, I was hoping you were going to say that, because if you would have said it was the same, I was going to go, okay, next point.
No,
never mind.
Let me touch one thing too. So I sold a sample to my girl Kaylee like 3 years ago. And then finally she reached out to me in 2023 in November, and she was like, okay, I think instead of grabbing a month supply, I think I'm just going to promote it and grab a kit. And then she ran herself to 4K last month. So it's crazy how you have rock stars that are watching you, because like I said, she bought a sample 3 years ago from me, and I knew she could kill it in this business. It was just her finding the belief in being able to also make an impact in this business.
Yeah. And I had somebody reach out to me yesterday, and she had just ordered, and she had thrived with me since 2018. And she was like, hey, I miss it, right? So you just never know. But I'm glad that you had said that it's you went 12K with a whole different team, because the people that I went to 4K with weren't there with me at 12K, and 12K, that team that wasn't there for 40K. You know, when I had hit 200K, there was probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 people in our team that were there since the beginning. It was all new. It was all new. And so I think that's why it's important that you keep building. I hate the term rebuilding, because I don't think we should ever stop, right? People are gonna fall off, and guess what? You're there doing your job, bringing more in and duplicating that. Your VIPs, you're not responsible for who comes and goes, but you are responsible for your own actions. And Meredith stayed consistent that whole entire time. While she had hit her rank, she had lost her rank, she had, you know, went back up to 12K again. I've been there before. I was looking at, I just 6 years in, okay, always learning, found a report in my back office that shows like your graph of your ranks, and mine was like 200K, 80K, 200K, 80K, 200K, 80K, 200K, 80K. And I'm like, wow, I have like a mountain of 200K to 80K. And I stayed consistent through all of it, right? I still sampled, I still got people on Thrive, I was still doing my job. I detached myself from the numbers in my back office. Like, you know, Amber had said, quit being selfish, just go share. Like Meredith had said, you know what I mean? Help other people, focus on other people. So I was like, all right, that's fine. Like the wheel may say that, but I'm going to go help people. I'm going to go help other people hit their VIPs, and I'm going to help other people hit 4K. I know their names. I know their kids' names. I know their goals. And when you help other people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. And I'm telling you, some of y'all might not be in that position yet, but when you start to have an organization where you're like, so-and-so earned 4K, so-and-so earned 4K, this person just got their auto bonus, that person just earned a 40K bonus. Like, I love that more than my own wins. Like, I know next Tuesday when bonuses are paid out, I'm probably going to be talking to the girls on our team who earn those bonuses before I even check mine. I'm just so excited for them to be winning. You know what I mean? Like, just to know what they've gone through to earn that. I do see a question in here from Suzanne. Says, do you hear often that people are afraid because it's not FDA approved? I have heard. Hang on, okay, this is one. So I have heard that before, but here's the thing: you can go to Walmart and buy Nature's Valley. Nature's Valley is not FDA approved. You can go to GNC. Anything on the market or anything on the counters at GNC is not FDA approved. FDA is food and drugs. We are neither. Okay, we are not food or drugs. And if you really want to be salty, like, and I get this way a little bit. I'm like, listen, the FDA approves alcohol, the FDA approves cigarettes, the FDA approves opiates. I'm so glad that we're not affiliated with them.
Well, and I'll just jump in there on that is it's a lack of education. So it's our job to educate, because that's a thing, right? Like people are like, well, it's not FDA approved. Hey, I don't know if you knew this, but the FDA doesn't approve vitamins. Like vitamins are all over the place. They approve food and drugs. McDonald's is approved. Starbucks is approved.
Well,
See you asking McDonald's for the ingredients in their patties.
And that's what I'm saying, is people will, you know, eat a Big Mac and go, what's in your vitamins? And I'm not Big Mac shaming. I love Big Macs. Okay. I would never do that. I love me a good Big Mac.
But it's just an opportunity to educate.
It's a good opportunity to, like, or same with the pyramid scheme thing. It's like, hey, like, I don't know if you know this, but pyramid schemes are illegal. I think it's Twin. Twin goes, do you think I'm doing something illegal? They're like, no. Like, she's like, oh my gosh, I thought you were saying I was doing something illegal. So
yeah, and then following that with its sales, I earn a commission on every product sold. Like
and
that's it. And
I'll,
you know,
I'll
plus
tell
you
people,
don't charge fees. Like that's
like,
what's so different.
I'll tell people too, I'm like, listen, Mary Kay's MLM, and like there are people's great grandmas driving around in pink caddies right now because they were slinging lip gloss 30, 40 years ago. Like people are still joining Mary Kay today, and they have great products, you know what I mean? But they're over 100 years old. We're like just over 10 years old. So we're established enough to be debt free, but still new enough. I would still consider it ground floor, right? So we're still so new. We're still a baby company. All right. So a couple of things. I don't remember what you had said, Meredith, when I wrote this down, but you said something that triggered into my brain. So maybe it was something in the chat. I had said they're having a hard time enrolling customers. I would ask you, when's the last time you shared your own results? When we are so scared to be salesy. We're so scared to, I don't want to share results. I don't want to share before and after. Like, I'm telling you, my customer enrollments come when I share before and afters. Yes, I share my products in my stories. Yes, I share myself mixing up my shake. Yes, I talk about how I feel good, but I share before and afters. If you're in our organization, you're on our team, I make new slides every single month for them because I want them to constantly have new before and afters to be sharing. You want to show people what these products are doing. It's enough to say it, but like show them what they're doing. So if you're having a hard time enrolling customers, go grab some before and afters, make a couple story slides out of it, post your own on your Facebook, and get them out there. Get all the content out there. I'm telling you, share it in your stories, share it on your page, share it. I only share my before and afters on my page. I share everyone else's in my stories, personal preference. You do you, whatever's working for you. But get it all out. Do it on a reel, do it in your stories, do it in a post. You and Meredith, I'm gonna challenge you to do reels. I'm gonna challenge you to do reels because I had done one and I enrolled like 5 or 6 customers from it, talking about the 3 steps. Because there are people out there, it's just like TikTok. There are people out there who never open up their Facebook, but they're scrolling through Instagram reels all day. And vice versa. There are people who don't scroll reels, but they're watching live videos. And there are people who don't watch live videos or reels, but they're tapping through their stories. I call them Facebook ninjas. They don't post, they don't like nothing, they don't comment on nothing, but they watch all your stories, right? And so people consume content differently. They do. Some people
Right.
only like videos, some people only like reels, some people only like reading your posts. And so if you're not putting out every kind of content, you're missing a whole
Mhm.
network of people who are only consuming that type of content.
Well, and
That's
I'll
so
jump in
good.
on that because there are people, so I know like some people teach the whole only post product in your stories. Well, you're missing out because I did this whole like poll digging in. I did it in a couple different places. Half of my Facebook, half of them only do feed. And so if your stuff is only in stories, they're not seeing it. They're not seeing it. They don't even know what stories is. I don't know how they don't see the bubbles and click them. I don't know, but they don't. And so same with that. Like there are people that are only on Insta. I mean, we have people crushing it that don't have a Facebook. And we have people at Facebook that are crushing it and don't have an Insta. Y'all are missing out on
Yeah.
these extra platforms.
And
I
she's not
TikTok and I'm like,
And she's not lying either because I'm constantly getting notifications that I'm close to my friends list on Facebook. So I'm like trying to find inactive people to delete or whatever. So that's 5,000. Facebook allows you 5,000 friends. Do you know how many viewers I have on my Facebook stories? Like 300. Out of 5,300? Are you serious? And so share on your feed. I mean, I'm not talking, okay, again, like this is just what I do, so I hope I don't offend anybody, but I'm not going to Google and taking pictures of products to post on my page. I'm holding my capsules. I'm holding my shake. I painted my cabinets. It was in my memories. I had a picture of my capsules and my cabinets torn apart. And I said, it's a men's capsule kind of day, right? And so I'm making it relatable and fun, and I'm sharing what it's doing for me, but I'm putting it on my feed because the 350 people that are seeing my story, or 350 people, that's not the 5,000 on my friends list. And can we please, for the love of all that is holy, stop finding our worth in our likes on Facebook? Can we please do that? Because I'm telling you, I will post a picture of my kid or me and my husband, and we'll get like 250 likes. I don't know, maybe it's a really good post and I've got like 100 comments, 250 likes, whatever. But then I'll talk about my products in my next post and it's like 11 likes and it's all people on our team. Like that, just because they're not liking it or commenting doesn't mean they're not seeing it. How many times have you walked by a store but not went in, but you still walked by and looked at the window? You didn't go in and talk to anybody. You didn't go in and buy anything, but you walked by and you looked. People are still seeing it. So just detach yourself from those. I'm telling you, never have I ever gone to the bank and deposited Facebook likes. Never. Or video views. And people are like, oh, well, I only got 100 views. Like that's horrible. And it's like, okay, go sit in a room full of 100 people and start talking. Because I'd be shaken.
absolutely. And here's the other thing is that this is the good reminder to not just post Thrive stuff, right? Like, because if you do just post Thrive stuff, you're going to see those views go down. You're going to see the likes go down. You need to up your algorithm and insert things where people see, be a human on the internet, where it's, your kid stuff or your gardening stuff or whatever it is, or do random questions, there's so many things to get people involved. And then you can do a Thrive post later. The other thing is kind of like you said, walking by a store. How many times do you go to the store? You go in the store, you see something, but you don't buy it. But then the 10th time you're at the store, you buy that thing. You're finally like, I'm just going to get it already. Like that is Thrive to people. Like there are people that finally, because that's what it took me. I think we lost count of the messages, but it was a minimum of 15 messages from Maria in the follow-up over 3 months before I finally decided to buy Thrive.
Yeah, I love that too. And engage your audience too. It's like, I'll put in my stories if we're getting family photos done and I'm like, what color scheme do you think looks best? Or I'll share stuff that my husband does. He's like so quirky and he's funny. He's like so awkward on camera, but people eat it up. Okay. So I'm like, babe, get in my video. Like I try to make it fun. I try to make, put stuff out there that's going to make people laugh. That's going to engage responses, ask for opinions. Have you ever heard this? Have you ever tried this? Have you ever done this? What are your thoughts on this? I shared in my story last night. I'm really getting out of my comfort zone. There's Kaylee. Because I'm social media through and through, and I want to be more belly and belly. Like that's my goal, but I'm a homebody. Believe it or not, I'm an extroverted introvert. Like I can play the part when I'm there, but then I get home and I'm like, what just happened? Holy crap. So I'm like, I'm gonna say yes to more. Will you stop that? So okay, just disregard her. She gets that from her mama. So I said yes to like some abs and booty workout thing last night, right? I was like, I'm gonna get into this. I've never been to this gym before. It's a brand new gym. I didn't know anybody there. And I have anxiety like real bad. So in my head, I was like, they already all hate me. Like they're all gonna hate me. They're all gonna think I'm weird. No one's gonna talk to me. It's gonna be horrible. And I was like, anybody else feel that way? Like you just think everybody hates you? And the responses were like off the charts. Like, oh my gosh, I have that too. Like I'm always an overthinker. I'm relating with my audience. Amber, you're gonna take a picture of her, ain't you? So I'm relating with my audience and I'm connecting with because people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. How are they gonna know, like, and trust you? You have to share stuff that connects to them, things that are relatable and that you can have a conversation about and get to know each other. When I'm following up with somebody, the last thing I want is the last 10 of my messages to be follow-ups. Because that to me screams like you're just a number, you're just a paycheck. So if you're following up with people and you can see like they've ignored your last 4 messages and they're all like, hey, are you ready to buy? Hey, are you ready to join? Like maybe start building a relationship and like ask them about their kids, ask them about their ask them about their job, ask them about, what's going on in their life. Yeah.
Well, and follow-up does not have to be about the product.
It's just a connection.
Other things. Yeah.
So that's all I had to say about that.
Well, and that's like, so like when, like going back to me saying, had this many messages from Maria and it was on different things, like, right. Like some messages were on Facebook Messenger and some were text and, it was not just about Thrive, but she did, if there was a special, if there was a promo, she was sending it to me like, hey, did you see this? Because guys, how many emails do we have? Like Kohl's and Dillard's and places we didn't even sign up for. Like we have so many emails. And so we cannot just assume that our free customer that created an account but hasn't ever actually ordered Thrive, that they've actually seen the email. So that's kind of like, that's my job is to, hey, did you see the email? Just wanted to make sure you saw the special. And so she was doing that, but then at the same time was conversing about other things. Cause I was like, so sorry, I've been super busy with the racing. And she's like, I totally get it. We have baseball. What kind of racing? Like she cared, there was value being human on the internet.
And I want to say something too, because you had mentioned emails. I just did a reel on Facebook and on Instagram. Y'all can go watch it. But it was, so the other day, Fashion Nova emailed me 3 times before noon. I shared it in the chat too. I was like, literally, it was like 8 a.m., 10 a.m., and then like 11:30 or something, okay? And I'm like, y'all are scared to follow up and talk about your business, but Fashion Nova emailed me 3 times before noon, okay? Old Navy tells you, hey, you left something in your cart. Bath and Body Works tells you every day for 6 months leading up to Candle Day, when Candle Day is, they don't care. They don't care. I'm like, oh my gosh, unsubscribe, okay? Shutterfly, don't even get me started. They don't care. They're not second guessing their emails. They're not going, oh, I wonder if I'm gonna annoy this person. No. They're sending it out, and the ones that are seeing it and ordering, they're getting those orders. The rest is just they're planting the seeds. So just keep following up and keep connecting with people.
Absolutely. Meredith, do you have anything, any extras you want to add in after this?
Well, yeah, so quickly, Katie, you asked how often I share my before and after. So prior to having a baby, because I am a very petite, tall person, everyone was like, well, why are you thriving? Because you don't need to lose weight. Well, people, if you don't really know what you're talking about, just stop, because Thrive isn't just for weight loss. It was also for energy and gut health and all the things, right? But I did end up having finally a weight loss journey. So here recently, I have been able to share like my before and afters on my Facebook, and I do it all the time in social media, or not social media, on my stories. But the other thing I wanted to touch on really fast, because I've had people ask me this, but like who have joined my team, they asked if I do like a VIP customer chat, or that's what I call it, is a VIP customer chat. But I don't keep it just Thrive. Okay. I had this brilliant idea last year, and I decided to start like sharing recipe ideas, shake ideas, gardening tips into my VIP chat to keep people interested, so they're not just seeing it as a Thrive customer chat. Because, on Instagram, people do like channels for whatever their niche is, however you want to say it. But I have noticed my customer retention stay consistent. Like in February, I had 13 auto ship customer orders, and I've never hit that in my life. And I'm pretty certain it's because I have a VIP customer chat. I even put people who have never ordered but created those free accounts into it. And I just make sure I like talk about giveaways, and I also really make sure that I like send thank you notes and spoil my customers who stay with me every single month. But don't overthink your customers. Like, they want to support you, right? Make sure to like include them in every other way of your life than just Thrive. Like, really build that connection, like everyone's saying, like really make sure you build that. And if you do a customer chat, don't just make it about Thrive, because they could, like, I shared when my daughter turned 1 in my customer chat, and I said, hey, I'm going to be kind of MIA because I'm celebrating her first birthday, but here's some photos from her birthday. And then like everyone was wishing her happy birthday. Like, so just be very personable on that forefront as well. Which that was kind of beside the point on everything y'all were talking about. But I was like, hang on, people need to know that our customers, they know, like, and trust you, like Katie was saying, and you have to kind of just involve them in every other way of your life as well, and just really build that relationship. So anyway, that's it.
I love it. Yes, guys, just remember that they have to know, like, and trust you. Yes, send the message, but also create the relationship. Katie, got anything after that?
I think the only thing that I would say, honestly, is perfectionism is just procrastination spelled differently. So quit trying to be perfect, quit trying to take the perfect photos and make the perfect reel and have the perfect caption. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. If they're meant to be there, they will. If they're going to order eventually, they will. Show up and be you. Stop trying to cater to every single person. When you're speaking to everybody, you're speaking to nobody. So find your target audience, whether it's moms, college students, whatever the case may be, and just go all in.
Absolutely. I love that. Go all in. Like, what do you have to lose? Right? Like, my whole thing going back to this was, I know, like, when we started, and I was, and I still I don't think I've ever stopped being this, but I was so all in and gung ho, because one, the product changed my freaking life. I will never shut up about it. I am a better human because of it. I'm a better me, a better mom, a better wife. Like, so much to my story. And I just didn't shut up about it because of that. But then, hey, there's bonuses on the table, the VIP bonuses. And I just like get it. Like, oh my gosh, we were in debt. I'm going to help pay bills, help my family. There were people, that talked, right? And then we heard from other people, the people that talked, and oh my God, she's posting all about this Thrive all the time and so salesy and blah, blah, blah. Well, none of those people paid my bills. None of those people brought me food when we were starting. Like this is none of their opinions changed my future and my kids' future. And if they unfriended me, so be it. I did get to a point because I am a people pleaser, and it did hurt my feelings. Like when I would go and I see, where it says suggested for you, whatever, and it's somebody that I'm like, oh, we were friends. Like, why are they suggesting me to add this person as a friend? Well, they unfriended me at some point. But you know what? Like that means they weren't really my friend. That means that it's just not for them. It's not for me. And that does not change the trajectory of my future and all the other people, because here's my thing. Had I not kept going with this, had I let other people shame me into being quieter about Thrive, how many of you wouldn't be here? How many of you, your lives wouldn't have been changed because of the product or the business? And so you think about that, levels deep of people. Well, guess what? Now it's your job to go find the mom that's crying in her closet that desperately needs this. Like, go find the dad that's like, I just want time with my kids. Like, this is your job now to go find those people and continue that layered deep legacy for yourself and your business. So, okay, that's all I've got. We are coming up on noon Central Time. It is payday. Go make a payday post. Katie, do you have a suggestion? You're really good at this. Do you have a suggestion of a payday post? Because I know people are like, oh, I'm kind of scared to post about that.
So I'm like very bold when it comes to this. I feel like I'm even more like the products are amazing, but the business really changed my life. So I'm very business heavy with this. I would talk about the weekly pay. Compliance gave us the green light to talk about the VIP bonuses, $800 or more on the 1,600 in sales. Use the link that's there for you. But somebody could literally come in and earn these bonuses and have an $800 paycheck next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I would share that because I'm here. I didn't join and go, oh, I'm gonna hit my auto bonus and I'm gonna hit the Millionaires Club. I joined and I'm like, $1,000 in 2 weeks. Bet.
Yeah.
That's what
I needed that $500 that following Tuesday. Like that.
I needed it. Like I didn't care about the cars. I didn't care about the trips. I didn't care about. I literally was like 2 weeks. I can do anything for 2 weeks. Like I got this. Share about that.
Awesome. Meredith, do you have any recommendations on a payday post? P.S. Katie, I tried to snap a picture when she was like hugging your neck, but she was so darn fast.
I'll be honest, so I will be totally honest. I do not share very much Thrive on my timeline. I try to trickle Thrive into my timeline, and then 80% of it is family in my niche, like gardening and all the things. But what I do talk about loud and proud is thriving for free, because the fact that we get our products for free and we can run our business for free, I talk about that all the freaking time with like on my timeline. I talk about it in my stories. I talk about it I tell my team, like, if you're not making a paycheck right now, but talk about the fact that you have free product that you earned, like, I don't know. So I scream that loud and proud almost, I feel like, every week. But the weekly paycheck, a lot of people aren't looking to be making, 4 figures in a week. Like that's not like an expectation that they're really gonna like see right away, right? So, and a lot of people maybe don't want that. So honestly, talk about the small things, like that filled up your gas tank. For me, I started honestly $200 extra a month to like fill our fridge or pay for gas that entire month in our one vehicle home. Like that was enough. Like,
yeah,
like that helped out. So talk about the small things, because really they're big things. I definitely need to talk more about the opportunity, and I've gotten a lot better over the year about it. But yeah, and I have a lot of people that reach out when I do share about opportunity posts about the business. I do have a lot more people that have been reaching out like, okay, girl, you're still doing that Thrive thing? Wait a minute. So
Yeah.
do share about the opportunity for sure on Tuesdays, because that's what a extra blessing that is for everybody.
Yes, and it's such a great reminder because yeah, like for me, I do share product heavy because of that's why I've stuck around, and then yes, we have made a good amount of money for our family. But at the same time, I'm learning and trying to be better at sharing more about the business and the opportunity because of what it's truly done. And then I love that, like running with the free, like we're free to join, free to promote, no fees. The free business that I joined pays me every Tuesday, so, and by the way, it pays thousands of other promoters on my team. So that is huge. And start with the little things, like, my two favorite stories in this business are one where, we had someone that they didn't have heat and they lived in like Ohio. And they didn't have heat and it was the winter months. And because of Thrive, they were able to go get into a different home and that home had heat. And and then not checking your bank account when you're at the grocery store, right? Those things, those are big deals. When you go to the grocery store and you don't have to check your bank account before you go. And then, one of my girlfriends, hers is Thrive paid for braces, and braces, teenagers, it's stupid expensive. Insurance doesn't always cover it. And so like, yeah, what are your goals? Is it to pay for camp? Is it to pay for, hey, we have to have a sitter during the summer? Like what are those base necessities that Thrive is helping with right now? So, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Meredith. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for sharing. I'm proud of each and every one of you that got on this call. Pat yourself on the back. Yes. Now it's to pay for college. And Katie, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love the pop-in visits from your daughter. All right. Bye, y'all. Have a great day.